Hello, Matt Boyles here from Fitter Confident You. Delighted to be bringing forth another wonderful Fitter Confident Unicorn into the light for a lovely little chat about his experiences, his journey, what he's up to, what progress he's made. So introducing stage left, and you'll see why that is relevant, Will Hawksworth. Hello, Will. Hooray.
Hello, Matt. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm good. I've been to the gym. Thrilled.
Oh, he wasn't paid to say that. Where in the world are you? We don't need a postcode. The general environ.
So I'm based East Sussex. So down
Lovely.
south.
Lovely, delightful. Yes, people outside of the UK, that's in the south of. Are you near the how near the coast? Are you?
I'm sort of splat between London and Brighton. So Brighton's right on the
Right.
south coast. So I'm somewhere in the middle in the countryside.
Lovely, delightful. Well, as much as fun as it is to talk about geography, what we're actually here to talk about is a bit of the old fitness, which now Will and I is actually, I should have checked, is it must be coming up to a year.
It will be soon, a couple of weeks. Yeah.
So Will and I have worked together. We'll work together 2 times, and we're working together for a third time, very excitingly. And we'll come on to that in a second. But just to rewind, um, what were you doing, like fitness and health and all of movement stuff wise, before we crossed paths?
A whole hodgepodge of stuff. So I work in theatre. So inherently there is activity and cardio in what I do. I work in musical theatre. So when I'm doing a contract, whether it's 6, 9, 12 months, however long, it's 8 shows a week. And obviously over time, you're doing the same thing. So you sort of plateau, but guaranteed fitness wise, I will lose weight on a show. And then in between contracts, I'm less active. So I rest a bit more. I would never have been to the gym. I will do swimming. I'd go to a dance class, and I try and in and out of work, I try and watch what I eat. But the thought of going to a gym, doing weights, doing resistance stuff, I was really turned off by. So yeah, it was a period of I think I would go swimming 3 or 4 times a week and just watch what I would eat. And obviously, you'd see the weight loss, but it would plateau, and you go, okay, what else can I do um, to get more of the results I've seen and kind of liked?
Mm.
So yes, before working with you, the thought of stepping into a gym was like, no, thank you.
And that obviously is the same for a lot of people watching, and for myself and my journey previously. So it's not, it's a perfectly natural response. And uh, thankfully, though, our paths did cross, and I gently started encouraging you into that world. But before we get to that, can you remember why? And this isn't just to get you to blow smoke up my behind, but like what attracted you to fit the concept of Fitter Confident You?
So I think obviously over pandemic, the last 2 or 3 years, people were forced to kind of look at their lives, what they were doing, how they were living. Did they like it? Were they just kind of going on the treadmill, metaphorically, and doing the rat race thing and just going, oh, everything's fine. If I just keep going, everything's fine. But because everything stopped, it made people go, oh. So obviously working in theatre, I stopped. So I was not working. I was not moving as much, but I was doing home workouts and stuff. My brother used to be a personal trainer about 10, 15 years ago. I dated the personal trainers too. So I'm relatively aware of that sort of world. Um, but again, it was something they never crossed.
Mm.
So, and I think also post pandemic, I thought, well, I'm in my 30s now, and I can't keep sort of just relying on a bit of cardio and eating right if I want to really have longevity in terms of obviously looking good, because what I do, there is an aesthetic level to what I do
Mm.
that is both on my part and obviously the other side, people who are trying to give me jobs. Um, well, they're all going to give me jobs. They're desperate to hire me. Um,
You're biting them off.
I'm just batting them away. I
Get out the
can't
crash
get the word
barriers.
quick enough. And I thought, well, I'm just going to keep doing that up and down, and that's not going to be good long term if I take my shirt off and look in the mirror and go, oh, because so I just thought maybe I should look into working with a personal trainer. So I first of all, I think there was somebody did a very, very clever thing on Instagram, and it wasn't you, it was somebody else. So they followed me on Instagram, and I went, oh, interesting. I followed them back, and I looked at their stories, I watched their content, their reels, and eventually they unfollowed me. so that it looked like they had more followers compared to who they were following. Very, very clever. But the reason I was interested in them is because they are also an actor who is a personal trainer, fitness instructor, nutrition person. And so I thought, maybe that's the route I go down, because they get it. They get our lifestyle, they get the schedule, they get the kind of often very sporadic and irregular nature of what we do. So I followed them for a while, and then I think January last year, so January 2022, I think it was a Facebook ad of yours that popped up, and I thought, and I don't know how. Maybe it's the algorithms of what you say. So I watched some of your content. I think I found you first on Facebook,
Right.
and then I found you on Instagram, but maybe not till we spoke, really.
Lovely.
And I was reading your ethos about, essentially, you do exactly what it says on the tin, the fitter, confident you. It's not about, what I really enjoyed was, it was not about getting shredded, getting in the gym, getting gains. Because as a gay man, often that's a massive turn-off, because there's already that insecurity that not everybody, but a lot of us stepping into the fitness environment feel when we are surrounded by straight guys who are wanting to achieve a certain aesthetic. And potentially we step into that environment thinking, I'm already turned off by all this testosterone and masculinity, and it's toxic, and But the more I read, the more I watched, I kind of thought, maybe this is a better route in, because you're gay, because you work with gay trans men, and you're sympathetic to what it can be like in the fitness industry for people like us. And so I think eventually we spoke, because I was supposed to open a show in March last year, and having waited so long to get back into work, the week I opened the show, I caught COVID.
Oh God, damn you, COVID!
Damn you, COVID! And I annoyingly, I was like, I feel fine. Please, can I come into work? And I'm like, really sorry. Anyway, so I saw that as a slap in the face from the universe to say, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? Because I guess most of your clients do. It's always the step of talking to you and making contact and messaging to say, can we have a chat? So we had this lovely conversation where I spoke about what I do, my lifestyle, what I'd done before, what I could fit in. And you were, as you've always been, super sympathetic, super understanding, patient, because we all all your clients have different needs and wants, different lifestyles, different kind of free time and allowances to consider. So that's how we got started. And I'm truly grateful, because I don't think I could have done it any better. From looking back to there to now, I don't think it could have worked out any better.
Oh, fabulous. Well, I couldn't agree more. You've been amazing to work with, and the progress you've made, which we'll come to in a sec as well, has been brilliant to witness and hear. So obviously right at the start of this, you mentioned the concept of, well, even just resistance training, let alone like lifting weights, let alone setting foot in the gym, was anathema, love that word, to you, and wasn't something you ever saw yourself doing. How did I get you to do it?
I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking, honestly, so the way we started was, we went from, because I'd said to you, and you were brilliant about saying, I've got clients who do home workouts, clients who do gym workouts, and a bit of both, depending on what their availability is like, what their budget's like, their freedom, their travel, etc. And I remember saying to you, the thought of working out in a gym is such a huge blur, but we progressed. So I think it's worked out basically in 4 stages. We started with bodyweight workouts for about the first 3 or 4 weeks. And then you encouraged me to get a TRX machine, which again, I'm probably the biggest sort of anything new, anything different, anything that I don't know how to do perfectly straight away is no, thank you. But it was part of it was what's going to change if you don't do anything and you don't progress. What's going to happen? So you started me out on about 3 bodyweight workouts a week for about the first month. I ummed and ahed about getting this TRX, and I think I said to you something I'd found in like TK Maxx. I was like, is this really lovely branded thing the right thing? You went, it's lovely. It's not right though. Because it was something on like a bargain thing. I was like, it's really cheap and convenient, and it's also here. And you went, put it down. So we then worked on TRX, and again, it was figuring out before I even think about getting to the gym, figuring out the difference with TRX, which was so ideal for me because I work on tour. I was working on a UK tour around the UK and Ireland and eventually Canada. So I was in a different venue every 1 to 2 weeks. So I was either working out in my hotel room or my digs or the living room of somewhere or a backstage area when it was quiet between shows. Because I needed to have something that was ideal and kind of travelable. And it literally fit in a little bag that was about this big. And I did everything. I did legs, I did arms, I did triceps, biceps, pikes, all sorts. I thought, God, this is so unbelievably versatile.
Yeah.
And I never thought, and I remember, I talk to you and say, oh, it's really hard. And you say, okay, cool, just adjust it by moving your feet or shifting the length of the ropes. And I go, okay, cool. But like anything, the first time you use it, it's a bit, but once you get into it, like being in the gym now, which I am. So we started with body weight. I did TRX for about, I reckon, 7, 8 months or so. I was quite content. And people at work were kind of saying to me, because my body was changing, and they'd commented and say, and you're not going to the gym? I said, no, I'm working out my room. And we would talk about the TR. And these are people who go to the gym and use weights. So they'd know the difference about, oh, that's how you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, because that's what I feel comfortable with. Then kind of November, December time, you introduced the Fitter Confident Yule workouts, which was kind of a perfect transition for me, and also people who'd never worked with you before, but fancy doing something pre-Christmas to maybe lose those extra pounds that you might put on, be a bit active and feel less guilty about.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, the year is winding down, you're bound to indulge and eat and drink more. Don't feel quite so bad, because if you do these workouts, it's a brilliant introduction, I think, to working with you, but also into fitness. So having started with body weight, I went to TRX. I then took the plunge and did the Fitter Confident Yule, which was a combination of body weight and dumbbells, which again was like the next progression.
Yep.
And that's where I first stepped into a gym. It was the last venue of my UK tour. So I've been working with you about 8 months. And I was in Edinburgh, and I went to this lovely, huge Nuffield in Edinburgh. But initially I thought, I don't know whether it was better to have a small gym or a massive gym, because if it's small, everyone's here. If it's huge, there is a vast amount of gym bros and ladies and people to kind of who could look at you, and it's all the stuff we do in our own head. But I found a quiet little corner. You gave me very clear instructions on the app about what the exercises were, how many sets, what reps, if you need to time it. And I asked you about dumbbells, and I said, I wouldn't know where to start. I'm not trying to be arrogant in a way. Do something really, really heavy. Where's a sensible? And you gave me a suggestion. And I then started with that, went, oh, I think I can go a bit heavier. Oh, so I did that. And I did that program for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I thought I quite like, and then I sort of, my poor TRX is probably gathering dust somewhere on a shelf, because the TRX is the one that got away.
But it's there if you ever need it when you go traveling again, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm more familiar with it. And then I was in Canada for 3 months with my work, and I'd said to you, maybe we talk about gym workouts, and maybe we look at like using weights, because I'll have a gym on site. And it was the best possible setup, because I was in an apartment building, and I could get dressed, push the lift, go down to the second floor, and there was this gym. And it was, for all the stuff that I needed, it was absolutely adequate. There were treadmills, there were CrossFit machines, there were a load of dumbbells, there was a rowing machine, there was loads of other technical posh exercise equipment stuff. And I took photos to you, say, here's the stuff, do your magic. And you sent me 4 workouts, of which I did for 3 months. So I did 3 months of 4 workouts a week in a gym. I would I have done it in the UK? Probably, but it just worked out so well. The transition from body weight to TRX, which was for me, the best of both worlds of, okay, I've progressed from body weight stuff, but I'm not quite in the gym. And eventually taking that thing of going, it's just a dumbbell. I can use a dumbbell so versatilely. That's not a word. And then going, I think I wanted to start maybe looking at a gym.
Look at you now.
And now I'm back in the UK. I've signed up to a gym, and I'm doing workouts. And it's part of that, I think, also is getting the mentality thing out of, Are people looking at me? Am I looking at them? What are they looking at me for? Why am I
Mm.
looking at them? Have we caught eyes? And especially the first time I went to the gym in Edinburgh, in that lovely big Nuffield, everyone ultimately is so concerned with what they're doing, whether it's their workout, their aesthetic, how they look in the mirror when they're doing their little exercises, or if they're checking themselves out, as
Mm.
I did. And I go, oh my God, is that a bicep? Because it's what you do. And that's not to be sounding vain. It's just really don't, they're not worried about you. Unless you're on something they want to use, they're really, really not concerned about you.
It's true.
Or unless you're being completely obnoxious and playing your music loud or singing along to a workout. Or as I discovered in Toronto, a great lady who was just free dancing her way around that gym, baby. She was just, nothing ever made any sense, but she was living her best life.
I love it. Good on her.
Yeah.
Amazing. But the brilliant thing is, you now have the best of both worlds. You can do brilliant home workouts to get any progress you want, or you can now go to any gym in the world and do whatever you want. You've upskilled along the way. And to say though, some clients and some people never go to gyms, and there's no, like, I wasn't forcing Will. This is just a natural. He was just trying. He was just. But this is so often that what happens. You try one thing and you go, oh, well, maybe I could just try the next thing. Oh, maybe I'll just try the next thing, and that was the logical progression for you. And it's been so brilliant to see you with that sense of wonder about fitness and yourself and that journey of discovery, man.
Well, and I would happily say to you as well, if there was an exercise either with the TRX or in the gym, I'd give it and go, nah. And I think that would happen very infrequently, but either I'd try it and go,
Yep.
it's just not happening, or I can't really get it, or with everything else I'm doing, can we change it? And you'd always be brilliant and say, we can change it. I've got this whole list of exercises that I can swap it out with, and it's not a problem at all. So it's not like I was missing. I never felt like I was really missing out on anything by saying, "Oh, I'm doing 5 of the 6 things that Matt's told me to do." And you go, "No, you can do the 6. I'll just change it."
There's always another option. Brilliant. And then so finally, what tell the viewer tell us about the progress you've made over the year of us working together in all sorts of different ways: physical, emotional, mental. Hit it.
Well, I mean, I joked with people at the beginning of the last year when I spoke to a few people that I was working with about, oh, you're working with a trainer or you've been to the gym before. And I joked to people that I promised myself when I got the job, I was either going to invest in a therapist or a personal trainer. And the personal trainer
You got
won.
both.
I got both. Ideal. And it's just, I guess it's been a salutary lesson of if nothing changes, nothing changes. And whether exactly like you said before, if I'd have stuck with the TRX stuff, that's way more than I was doing beforehand, because I was doing nothing. I'd maybe do a DVD workout. I'd go to the pool. I'd do a dance class, but I was so turned off by going to a gym. And now working with you, and honestly, the way it's worked out, the progression, rather than just a whole throw you in at the deep end and all the best, I hope you can paddle, has kind of taken away and demystified the gym, because before I felt it was, for want of a better term, like a boys' club. Here's what I found. Siri's talking to me. I'm so sorry.
So what, Siri's found you a boys' club to join?
Fantastic. I'm going to have to call you back, Matt. He's found me a boys' club to join. That sounds awful. No. So just in terms of, one big thing is, so before, I think the first couple of months where you get into the swing of you're doing 3 workouts a week, tick, 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 you feel good about doing the workout.
Yeah.
So you've achieved something on your kind of to-do list for the day or the week. Also, you feel good for doing the thing. And I remember saying to you, probably in an Instagram post, about, those really annoying things that personal trainers say about, like, when you go to the gym, you feel really, really good and you've done something for yourself and it releases endorphins and la, 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 la. I was like, they're right. Because now I've come to the point of, if I don't go to the gym or if I don't do some form of exercise, it's a bit, and that's potentially out of what I like. I like the feeling of doing it. I like the sense of achievement. I like also now the challenge of I can lift that little bit more. I can try this new exercise, and where there's a guy maybe that's twice my. That's all right. I've just shocked you, haven't I? Matt's like, the thought of you going to the gym.
Something just got stuck in my throat. Sorry.
Lucky,
As you
lucky
were.
thing.
This is live, folks.
This is live. This is live. It's the thing. It's come to the point now where I'm like, and there were points actually on tour where I was like, I just need to go to the gym and it'll sort my head out. Which before I used to think people were so obnoxious for saying, because I thought, why didn't you go have a lie down or go and have a coffee or go and have a sit down?
Yeah.
But it genuinely worked. If I suddenly felt like stuff was getting on top of me, or I'd get like an email or a request or a something, I go, I feel like there's a very dark cloud over my head, and what I really want to do is actually go to the gym, and it would just settle and be a bit more like everything that was in my head would go, cool, do that thing, great, do that thing, great, do that thing. So everything that we've ever been told about fitness, depending on who you're working with, if you're working with the lovely Matt, it's true about it helps your mind as well as your body. It gives you, and I don't really want to be focusing just on the aesthetic. I love the fact that because I dance, it's the fact that I'm moving the way I move and still able to use my body and all that stuff. I'm going to say, have you?
Oh no, my internet's we were doing so brilliantly, and then I had a coughing fit. Oh, you're back. We got the audio of that.
Am I back?
You're back. My internet decided to be rubbish, but we did get the
Great,
audio of that.
I'm sure my face is beautiful.
Go on. Oh God. Well, 95% of this was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, we can hear you again.
Can you see me?
Think I'll. There's a little something. I can see you moving again.
Chat.
There we go. That's better. Hello, Will.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, both, but I think it's still a bit slow. But
okay.
Oh no, I think it's back. Is that you're in real time again?
Me.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. Hi.
Cool. Hi.
Well, I might edit that out, or I might not. Any final words then? Oh God, no, sorry. Before your final meal.
Anything you want to say? Things like I made a lot of notes, readers, viewers. I made notes, so I tried to say all the things. Yeah, it was the perfect transition of introduction rather than being thrown at the deep end about just going to weights. It was little by little trying stuff out, and if I liked it, great. If I didn't, I can disregard it. There's a point where I thought I'm gonna have to work with a trainer because I don't really know what I'm doing in a gym, and I also thought, but I'm going to be on tour, so how do I work with a trainer who's going to come with me on tour? Because I'll want someone there for accountability, to check my technique, to check my posture. And the last thing I wanted, because I've worked with people like it, are come on, give me one last rep, push through, let's do this, power through, because I would have punched them in the face. And there was even a point, and the lovely thing about working with you, Matt, was that there was a point about halfway through working with the TRX, I said to you, the workouts have been great. I managed to do the two pink bits of like say 6 exercises on the app, and they're figured out, and there's 2 that are pink, and they're normally a superset. So you go one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. And I said that to you, and clearly I could hear your heart sink by saying, so you've done 2 of the 6 exercises this week. Should I have been doing more? And you're like, do you know what? It's better than nothing. With you, there was always a silver lining, because I'd figured out, oh God, I'm so sorry. I thought you'd all like colour them pink. I just hadn't figured it out yet. But there was never anything. You are so encouraging. You're so supportive. I could have done a press up for a week, and you'd say it's better than not doing any press ups. Like I could have done one sit up for a week, and you'd said, and that's still better than doing nothing at all, isn't it?
It is.
I feel very lucky to have found you, to work with you, because your approach too, like for me personally, your approach is perfect. You are supportive, you're enthusiastic, you're energized, you're interested, and you're interesting, because you want to know what people can do, what they can't do. When people surprise themselves, you're their biggest cheerleader. if people say to you, I'm really sorry, I've tried it and I've tried it and I've tried it, I just can't be in a gym, and you'd probably say, that's fine, let's get you some dumbbells. Do you like dumbbells? Yeah, I can do the dumbbell thing. Brilliant. I can do a whole plan with you that's just dumbbells in your living room. They go, okay, great, thank you. Because they've at least given it a go and think, no, it's fine. As opposed to maybe hitting a wall and some say, well, you're not going to get the results if you don't go to the gym, you don't do all the different exercises. So um, honestly, I'm so grateful because I think if I'd worked with somebody else, I think there would have been probably lots of feelings of inadequacy, like I was trying to pass a test with fitness and with working with a trainer to be like, look, I'm really good, aren't I? I get brownie points. Please like me and approve of me. So I'm very grateful.
Well, I'm very grateful that we got to work together and still are. And yes, you've done so wonderfully. Thank you for the kind words, and also the kind words to yourself as well about how brilliantly you've done, because you have. I will let you go now, but thank you for sharing your journey with us all. Just always, I was just about to hang up, but I've done quite a few of these, but they're always just so different. Everyone's journey is different, and that sounds like such a cliche, but the more you make it your own journey, as Will's is totally different to any other clients, the more you can own it and enjoy it and get the most from it, as you have. So, hooray! Well done.
Yay! Thank you.
Amazing. Have a fit, confident day, you and everyone else. Bye.